Hello and welcome to the big picture. The Medical Council of India's vision to standardize admissions to undergraduate and postgraduate medical and dental courses across the country through a common entrance test has come to a naught. The Supreme Court has held the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test (NEET) as violative of the various provisions in the Constitution. The majority verdict of the three bench headed by retiring Chief Justice Altamas Kabir yesterday also held that the Medical Council of India is not empowered to actually conduct the NEET. The common entrance test also held that this test deprives the state's state-run universities and all medical colleges and institutions, including those enjoying constitutional protection like minority institutions, of their right to admit students as per their own procedures. The dissenting judge, Justice Dave, has, however, differed on all these counts. Many questions have cropped up following this judgment, including whether a common entrance test is necessary or not, apart from the implications on the quality of education. We will discuss all this today with Harish Salve, will be joining us soon, Shailja Chandra, former Secretary, Ministry of Health in the Government of India, Dr. M. Valli, Senior Consultant Medicine and Physician to the President of India, and Satya Prakash, Legal Editor at the Hindustan Times. Welcome to all of you. Mrs. Shailja Chandra, coming to you, you think this idea of having a national common entrance test was a good idea?
It was an excellent idea. It was a necessary idea. And surprisingly, this was not done by Medical Council of India. They may have been the channel. But this is a government decision.
It was a government initiative.
And not only an initiative, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, prompted by the Supreme Court that this should be done. So how can you have a situation where you fall in line with what you're told to do? The government as an executive body doesn't have to be running around having laws to conduct an examination. The raison d'etre, the rationale for this test was simply because there should be no commercialization of medical education. It stemmed right from the judgment of Unni Krishnan and then after that TMA Pai, and all the time we have been hammered in the ministry that you must stop commercialization. And now if the attitude is it's a laissez-faire and everybody is free to do what they like, then it puts completely behind us all the annals of work that has been going on for the last so many years. Besides, the need of the hour is to have people with competence, people who are able to get through an examination in a fair way, not in a way where you can pay money. Today the going rate, some colleges I'm told are charging 3 crores. And parents feel they'll sell the shirt off their back, but they'll find the 3 crores.
30 crores?
3 crores,
3 crores.
for yes. Otherwise it's 1 crore, but it's gone up to 3 crores in some places. Now, if this isn't rank commercialization, what is?
No, but Ms. Chandra, tell me, you think that NEET would have in any way curtailed this kind of commercialization?
It would have at least given a level playing field. You have reservations, it's not that there are no reservations, but within that there's a level playing field. A person who is aspiring to be a doctor has to have certain capabilities and show that he is capable compared to somebody else. If there is no system of examination, you can take anybody you like, then in that case money will be the only...
The private institutions in Karnataka, for instance, they have their own entrance exam.
That's all right. They are private institutions.
And things like that.
But that also, there was a 50% reservation for the merit-based students. Over the years, that has been watered down. But I'm talking now, this is to do with the All India quota,
right,
which is being, it is watched like hawks by parents. Decimal points are being watched. How can you leave it to the fancy of every college to do as they please?
Okay. I think you have made a very important point, very significant one. Let me get Dr. Valli in on this. Dr. Valli, you think this judgment is going to affect the attempts to improve the quality of medical education in this country?
Well, I would not comment on the judgment because I am not a legal expert and the Supreme Court is the highest and most respected judicial body of the country. The problem to me was that the MCI document which was filed against which was quashed and the judgment is taken, might be certain things were not clear in the document, and the judgment presently given, that means yesterday given, clearly says it's violation of the 6 fundamental rights.
Right.
So any appeal which is drafted which would make our Supreme Court observe that there were violation of the fundamental right, the court is not going to leave it. It has to be quashed.
Right.
So something wrong at the time of filing that document by the MCI must have taken place, which we have to retrospectively look. I will give you one very good example. One member of a senior club in the city,
Right.
he gets a membership after 10 years application. Other member just goes pay and play facility. He also uses the same court, he also uses the same ball, he also uses the same club. So this is kind of disturbance in medical education has taken place over the years.
Right.
When I was medical student, my fees was 300 rupees per quarter. I cannot imagine anything in crores which madam was talking. Similarly, now if there are parents who can pay for their children for a different kind of medical education which is not given imparted in the government medical college, it is their headache. It is for the society to cut off those doctors who are not competent. It's not the government job. Government does screening.
I think
Government
Dr.
does screening. Government does screening. That's the government's job. Government can increase the seat even now to dilute that issue. That's the
Okay.
only option left.
Okay, Dr. Wali, I'll come back to
Yes.
you. Satyaprakash, what is this? You know, Dr. Wali is talking about the. You think that there was the problem was with the notification, MCI notification, or with the whole? Because he said the Supreme Court has clearly said that the NEET itself is violative of 19, 25, 26, 29, and 30 of the Constitution.
Well, the irony,
What is it that they found?
the
violative?
irony is that this whole common entrance test, it was approved, rather it was envisioned by the Supreme Court itself. And
So
it was
what
approved by
what
the,
she was saying.
yes, it was approved by the Supreme Court just a few years back. And but the
In
majority
what context was that?
because there were lots of corruption going on, corruption in terms of
Capitation fees
fee
and things like that.
So manipulation.
This was after the TMA Pi judgment.
no, long after.
Long after.
I'm saying, but the Supreme Court, the majority judgment, it has held that it violated right of any individual
Right.
to carry on a business or trade of his or her own choice, guaranteed under Article 19(1)(g). Further, it went on to say that it violated minority institutions' right under Article 30.
And they mentioned the TMA Pi judgment on that.
But the way the judgment, the majority judgment has interpreted all these provisions, it gives an impression as if the right under 19(1)(g) and the right under Article 30 these rights are absolute rights. That's not the correct legal position. Legal position is that the right under 19(1)(g) is subject to reasonable restrictions, and the government can prescribe regulation for excellence in education and particularly technical education. Also, the rights given to minorities to run their own institutions, set up and administer institutions under Article 30. That is also, it's not an absolute.
Subject to certain.
And the government can prescribe regulations for excellence. This judgment, the majority one, gives an impression as if these rights are absolute rights.
Fundamental and absolute.
So the fallacy is one. Second is, given the kind of environment in which the entire medical education was in the country, that was the solution which Supreme Court envisaged, it approved, and that is how the MCI and the government, they were implementing it. All of a sudden, again, you give another verdict, and then you say, no, it's unconstitutional. This creates kind of mess for the entire medical education in the country. The correct recourse would be the government should file a review petition, and it can be corrected.
No, but Shailaja Chandra, but some of the points raised by the Supreme Court in its judgment itself, it says that the standard of education is not uniform across the country, so you can't impose these kind of things. In fact, the way in which the Medical Council of India went about finalizing their syllabus, there were a lot of complications and a lot of controversies and that, because of which many state governments objected. So you think that there was a problem in the way the MCI designed this whole thing itself?
You see, ultimately, howsoever much you like to please everybody, there has to be some finality to it. And whatever the MCI did, after all in its judgment it has been making the curriculum for so many years. If you want to correct that, permit me to say that there was an NCHRH bill. It was placed before Parliament. The Standing Committee did not approve of it. That unnecessary...
NCHRH, please,
Yes,
please expand it.
that was called the National Council for Health, HRH, that is Health...
It was to deal with what?
It was to oversee the 4 councils, that is Medical Council of
Okay.
India, Dental Council, Pharmacy Council, Nursing Council,
Okay.
to do manpower planning for the next 10-20 years, keeping in mind the team of professionals that are needed in rural areas, urban areas, super specialty, tertiary, everything, and to be able to regulate through accreditation. The colleges would be accredited. All this was thought through unnecessarily, and unfortunately, it was seen to be like bureaucrats were trying to subjugate the doctors. That was not the case. MCI's
Was it subjugated doctors or the owners of these institutions?
Well, that could be your interpretation, but I think straight away what was told to the members of Parliament was that the doctors were being subjugated. There's a lot of interest, you're absolutely right. We know who run the colleges, we know who own the colleges. So I would only say that had some omnibus body come, which had both powers of forward planning and of regulation, then the councils would have also been kept, to answer your question about the curriculum and all, under check. What does the country need? Not just some sort of utopian ideas which are irrelevant to most of the country. But that is a separate point from this particular point, which is that you do need competition, you need merit-based admission, and if a boy, after all in the All India services, what happens? What happens in the IAS? What happens in the IPS? You have an All India examination. Exactly. So what is so different about medical education?
There also are thousands of people
Absolutely.
appear for these examinations.
And people with very, I mean, the father may be from the weaker section of society, his son is today a collector.
And that inequality is prevalent in that also.
It's there, so and they manage to get in. They manage to cross the hoops. Here the profession is medical. That doesn't make it any different. It only means that your subjects when you enter are different, and you are going to start and do it after your pre-medical exam. That's the only difference.
One of the things they said that the syllabus were different.
Of course.
The state board syllabus was different, and then suddenly state-run universities and those students cannot come.
See,
these were the arguments of the states which objected to it.
Every state will make the argument because we know who is behind the colleges being set up and the colleges being run. These arguments, bureaucrats, you don't have to tell me. We can invent 20 arguments. But one has to look at the big picture as you are conducting.
Dr. Valli, you think that this standardization is a necessary thing?
Well, India is a huge country, you see. Unless we standardize medical profession, it will be to our loss. And it is not difficult. It will take time, sir.
But Dr. Valli, sorry, Dr. Valli, but what about the objections that, this country is too diverse, too vast, there are a lot of different standards of education across. So how can you have a common entrance test?
Sir, I will put it in a very simple way. I would say medical education is not national, it is an international subject. And we are taught what is taught internationally. So there should be no problem, but it should take time to come for everybody on the platform. You see, during the last 30 years, there has been disproportionate growth of private medical institutions, and they have put large investments. These investments are recovered by the fees or other fees, whatever you call them.
Capitation fees.
What I would not say these dirty words.
No, it is not a dirty word, sir. It's not a dirty word. The Supreme Court has used these words in its judgment.
I would say fees.
Okay.
I would very responsibly say fees. The quantum may be from 300, as in my case, to 30,000. I don't mind. But you see, those who have come from abroad also, our country has put before them a test to pass so that they meet a basic standard of Indian doctors. So it will take time for all to come on a common platform to agree to what your speakers were suggesting. It may not happen suddenly.
Okay.
Lots of students have suffered because of the delayed announcement of NEET result this year. Yes, it will take time.
Okay. In fact, there are many other issues which needs to be discussed. You are discussing about how students have been affected. In fact, that is one thing which we need to discuss. But before that, we need to go into a very short break. Please keep watching. We'll come back very soon. Welcome back. We are discussing the decision of the Supreme Court of India about the common entrance test for medical and dental courses. We are also now joined in by Mr. Harish Salve, a senior advocate of the Supreme Court. Mr. Salve, welcome. Mr. Salve, straight away I want to ask you, this decision of the Supreme Court saying that it is ultra vires of the Constitution and all that is fine. But is this what happens to the students who have taken exams in just last month and the results were out in June? One second thing is how do you think that a common entrance test is ultra vires of the Constitution?
Well, let me take your second question first.
Right.
The Supreme Court has clarified they put it on three legal bases.
Right.
First and foremost, there is no provision in the statute which authorizes the medical council to conduct such a test.
Right.
Secondly, the minority rights has explained in a number of judgments, and believe me, this issue has been raised over the last 10 years over and over again.
Right.
And Supreme Court has said, unless you find that a minority institution is indulging in malpractice, you cannot interfere with their admission process. So that's very clear, and we have to learn to respect that there are rights of students, there are rights of minorities, they have been balanced by the Supreme Court.
So
The third is
what you're
autonomy
saying,
of private unaided colleges.
Right. Right. Please continue.
You can police them, but you can't take over the admission process.
So what you're trying to say is that as far as the last 2 points which you have made is fine, but if the Supreme Court is saying that the Medical Council of India is not empowered to conduct these kind of a test, let us say that if the government now decides to set up a new mechanism, a new institution to conduct these tests, you think Supreme Court should not have any problem with that?
As far as the power is concerned, that can be resolved by amending the statute.
Okay.
But the question of interfering with minority rights and all this will remain. And let me tell you, this is what happens by overkill. Each state and now the union government are trying to nationalize education all over again. In private unaided colleges, not only did the MCI say we will conduct a common test, they said half the seats you will reserve for the state. Now why should that be so? There is a third very serious problem which mentioned in the judgment, which in all, I'm sorry to say, this media hysteria is being missed. There was a group of students who had challenged the NEET, saying that there was a strong urban bias in the manner in which these tests are held. Students of different universities, state governments have challenged this test.
State governments have challenged.
The level of this, yes.
In fact,
on the ground that there is no parity in the standards of the different universities.
No,
you have to first bring them online and then have a common entrance test.
But I have Shalja Chandra here in the panel, former Secretary of Health she has a different point of view. Shailaja, you think that what Mr. Salve is saying holds water?
No, I am firmly of the view that we want to have the best doctors, and whether they work in a metropolitan area or they work in a rural area, they must have basic competencies and skills. And those basic competencies and skills, there is a law, the Medical Council of India Act 1956, bears out very clearly that the council is equipped to make the curriculum. Now, for better or for worse, the Medical Council of India is an elected body. What it does, how elite it is in its thinking. I just gave you before the break an idea that the NCHRH bill, had it come, there would have been oversight on these technical issues. That did not come. That was the answer. Here the answer to my mind is, you would have to, and I'm sure the government would think of it.
Please answer his point which he made about the diversity, the rural, urban and rural students having problems and things like that.
You see, ultimately, I don't think we can all the time, I don't think that we can, the basic standards are going to differ whether it is the IAS or the IPS. It is going to differ for the defense forces. Ultimately, there is a merit base. We are one country. we really can't carry this argument to an extreme.
A mean has to be established.
Absolutely. And you want competence, you want skills. Why has the Supreme Court, the same Supreme Court has said that in the Indira Sawhney judgment, super speciality, you will have no reservation.
No, I think
even.
you have important. I want Mr. Salve to respond. Mr. Salve,
There are three, we are confusing three independent things.
No, let us not. There is a separate point which I want you to, address, because before you came, this point had been
Sure.
had been made that this NEET has come up only because the Supreme Court had asked the government to come up with something like this, and why is it
Yes.
now? Why is it now saying that this
Correct,
is
correct.
controversy? Yes.
Because we pointed out that the observations were made by the Supreme Court without any of these issues being brought specifically, and they had made it clear later on that they are not deciding on the validity of NEET. See, let me tell you something. There is
So this
a
decision is not
basic difference between
Sorry.
medical council setting standards
right. No, I just want this clarification.
and
So
the medical council conducting one test.
No, Mr. Salve, I just want this clarification. When you just now you said that they have not, this order has nothing to do with the legal validity of NEET.
The original order, which had said you must have a common test.
Okay.
All this was not argued.
Okay.
When they showed it, they said, look, the colleges were not heard. The colleges didn't have a sort of hearing.
Okay. So the point which you were trying to make
But
earlier.
let
Yes.
me clarify one issue.
Yes.
Let me clarify one issue. Competence of doctors is not to be compromised.
Right.
No issue about that. Standards Medical Council is the last word.
Right.
Set the bar as high as you want, whatever you think is to be done. It's a completely different thing to say, I will conduct the exam.
So the problem is only about who conducts the exams, you think?
See, I'll tell you, let me tell you what the Supreme Court explained. Now take Christian Medical College.
Right.
There is no credible allegation of any malpractice there.
Okay.
The fees they charge
Is very
actually for post-graduation is less than the stipend they pay to a postgraduate for doing registrar's work.
right.
Now, but they need students of a particular kind, of a particular mindset.
Right.
And if a community like that says, look, I have my own selection process, completely transparent, who comes to CMC knows he has to go and work in diocese hospitals.
Okay, Mr.
And
Salve.
they don't take a
no,
rupee
Mr.
from the government.
Mr. Salve, don't you
Why
think?
must you take over their admission process?
No, Mr. Salve, I fully agree with you when it comes to institutions like CMC Vellore and things like that. They have institutions.
But they are very few in number.
Exactly.
These are very few in number.
That's exactly the point which I'm trying to make, Dr. Valli. That Mr. Salve, don't you think that these substandard institutions which are actually running these institutions to make huge money, huge capitation fees, it's become a money market there. Don't you think they are taking shelter under these kind of excellent institutions? And the
No.
and the judgment unfortunately
Let
also.
me-
Yes, please tell me.
Can I tell you something now? And I
Yes,
think
yes.
it's about time the truth is spoken.
Yes.
For years, I have appeared as an amicus curiae virtually for Medical Council of India.
Right.
There were times when the Medical Council would refuse permission. And the then minister used to overrule Medical Council
Right.
and say grant permission.
Right.
We tried getting transparency in the manner in which inspections are conducted,
Right.
because institutions complain. I
Right.
mean, that's a completely different area. Why is the Medical Council and the government unable to police these institutions is a question, the answer to which you and I both know.
Okay, I think you have made your point very well. Satprakash, I just want you to address a very important issue quickly because we can't completely run out of time. What happens to the students who had taken their exams and the results had come out just now?
This year's entrance test, the court has said it will not be affected by this.
No,
verdict.
but if I have read the order properly, it says that whoever has been admitted already, that won't affect them. But what about May 2013 undergraduate any NEET which happened and
No,
the results
this-
came in June 2013?
This year's results would not be affected.
Do you think so?
Yes, I understood that there is nothing going to be done with this year's result,
Okay.
only late admissions. They're almost 6 months late.
Okay, on that note, I think we have to end because we completely run out of time. Thanks to all my guests, but this is an issue
you.
which has to be which will have to be debated more, and some kind of a resolution has to be brought in, and to see that there is uniformity and also standards are maintained. Thanks to all my guests, Dr. Wali, Mr. Harish Salve, Shalja Chandra, and Satya Prakash. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on The Big Picture same time on Monday. Meanwhile, have a great weekend.